But Taylor Swift, Reputation, this is her sixth album,
Correct. Yep.
which
First since
following
2014. It's been a minute.
1989 came out in 2014. Kind of crazy. 1989 was kind of lauded as a slight return for Taylor, I think, using some of her more like lyrically based thing while also starting
Right.
to move in a pop direction. Sort of, it was a weird mix, but still like very respectable by her fans.
Yeah, because she went pop first with Red, but then I
Right.
think 1989 is where she took the pop and rejoined it with the stellar songwriting you come to expect from a Taylor Swift
like
music.
or Speak Now.
Right.
So then we hear the singles for Reputation, and we gave our takes, which both of us, and I think a lot of people were very meh and very disappointed about. So Reputation, first of all, didn't drop on any streaming services, so made me almost get a virus on my computer trying to find a way to listen to it. Because I'm not going to pay for that shit. Sorry, Taylor.
Don't worry, everyone else did. It sold 700,000 copies on the first day. One day, already the biggest week of the year. So
as of recording today, it was reported that it had sold over 925,000 copies, which is insane in the year 2017.
Without any streams. Yeah.
Crazy.
Big.
Was this album as bad as the singles led you to believe it would be?
So the singles, the 4 singles, but obviously the high-profile ones were Look What You Made Me Do and Ready for It. Mm-hmm. Those are probably the worst songs on the album. Look What Made You Do is definitely the worst song, and it just
Endgame is pretty close though.
Yeah, but I agree. But who thought those singles made sense? Like, you're way too calculated about the way you roll out your music. I mean, did you just try and catch the buzz with Look What You Made Me Do? I mean, I guess so. And Ready for It's just a swing and a miss. So, but man, it's just, I find it very questionable that those are the singles that they picked. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think Taylor was trying to. I mean, I think the scope of this album was to be like, I am more pop rap driven, like mixing in elements of EDM. Like some of the beat drops on this were very like, this is a pop EDM song. Yeah, very clearly.
The production's very big.
Which we'll talk about, but I think when she was thinking about how she wanted her to be portrayed moving forward as an artist and thinking about the movie she's making, this is obviously like, oh, maybe Reputation. I want to drop these singles and move this to being what I am now. I don't know. The saddest part about it, just to maybe start at the back of this conversation and work to the middle. I thought the songs on this album that were the best were the songs that focus on what her strengths are. Good songwriting, catchy hooks, headlines that I think were meaningful and relatable. Whereas a lot of this, I was like, okay, this is not a horrible song, but like I'm never gonna have a beef with Kanye, or at least I don't expect to. If I ever get to that point, that'd be great. Like, let me do that.
Right, I agree. I think at its worst, which is a large chunk of the album, it just, again, very immature, very petulant. Like, if you didn't have a beef with Kanye and Kim a year and a half ago, what would be on this album?
Right.
Because as we know by your incredibly apolitical persona, is there anything to you? Nobody knows who Taylor Swift is. She's 27.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I was actually like seeking out articles to try to just give me some background, see if there was anything on the album that I missed or like any digs or anything. And pretty much like half the songs are written to her current boyfriend, or like that's the speculation, is that they're written about her current boyfriend, Joe Alwyn, who,
congratulations.
All, I didn't even know that they were dating. But second, it's like, all right, I understand that this person is important in your life. But the thing that I think people liked about your songs was that you were able to take experiences in your life and pain that you had and like put it into a really catchy way and like send messages that people related to and enjoyed. This just didn't really hit. So what songs on the album did you like? Why don't we start there? Because it sounds like neither one of us really loved this album.
No, I emphatically disliked the album. Let's be clear. I think Don't Blame Me is pretty decent.
Okay.
When you listen to this, and there's song, like you said, there's a lot of good hooks on this. I don't think you can deny that. And yeah, some of this great songwriting does shine through, but does any of this feel like a Taylor Swift song? They just feel like generic pop songs.
I had three that remind me of a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, I pulled some friends that are big Taylor Swift fans, and they pointed me out to a few of them, but it's just like it sounds and feels for the most part just as generic as the trends she's trying to chase.
Yeah, I agree. The three songs I thought that could have been on any Taylor Swift album were New Year's Day, Getaway Car, and so this is the part that makes me mad. Call it what you want to. The way that she performed on SNL this weekend could have been a Taylor Swift song on any album.
Interesting.
The way that she portrays it on this album,
the studio recording.
Yeah, the studio recording is not as much of that feel. I don't know, and I guess like the other songs I didn't necessarily hate. Gorgeous has grown on me a little bit, even though I think it's a stupid song lyrically. I don't hate the beat and the way that she delivers a lot of it. And Dress, I thought, even though it was a very like
people like
try hard move to be like a bad girl or whatever. I thought she hit most of the notes on it, but I mean that's 5 songs out of 15.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you mentioned Getaway Car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jack Antonoff's all over this thing.
Yep.
Which is interesting because he was also involved with Look What You Made Me Do. But I'm not surprised that Antonoff's all over this because again, it's very contemporary pop. She's never fully embraced that sound before. I mean, the synths, the big production,
right?
The bass, even, it's all over the place. And then you top it off with a song where you have Future and a rapping Ed Sheeran. I mean, because of course that's what you thought was a good idea. Again, I'm not surprised. You don't actually know. You're just chasing the trends. So I don't know. It's just there's no hits on this album, which I think is fascinating. Mm-hmm. We mentioned the sales. Look What You Made Me Do did go number 1, and that really speaks to the strength of Taylor's base. She has enough fans, enough people paying attention. They will listen to a song and boost it up. But Look What You Made Me Do is one of the worst performing number 1s on the chart ever. I mean, for context, it's already at number 34, which is lower than That's What I Like by Bruno Mars, a song that's like 43 weeks old.
Yeah, that album though, that Bruno Mars album, fucking great.
Right, and that came out that's the thing. I'm thinking about pop albums in terms of how I think about Taylor Swift. Obviously, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, so I just kind of think about how it works in the culture, right? And I'm like, Melodrama by Lorde, obviously way better than this. But then I think like
so much better.
I think like other stuff. I'm like, I like the Dua Lipa album better. I like Demi Lovato has multiple songs on her latest album that are better than anything on this. I mean, it's Selena Gomez has had some good singles. Like even the Halsey record, which I basically savaged for 8 minutes a few months ago, that has Bad at Love and Now or Never hits that are way bigger than anything on this album. It's just it's just so confounding that this is what she made.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't really know like what Taylor thought, because I mean, she's already one of the biggest pop stars in the world. You don't need to become more pop. You don't need to embrace a more generic sound. Like you already are the generic sound by the fact that everybody just loves you and people want to sound like you. So it doesn't make any sense to make this move. I also think, like you said before, we don't know who she is. I don't think she even knows who she is at this point. I think she's been so caught up in so much bullshit and dating all these people, like all these celebrities all the time. I think she needs to like take like another 3 years and really just like go experience life and like try to figure out, like have something to say next time.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like she basically went away after the Kim snake exposed her. Like all the snake emoji bombs started happening on IG. Like she went away and she didn't do anything. But obviously there was no personal growth. And not to like rag on her as a person. Obviously that's not really important anyway. It's just a gold star to anyone who thought that Katy Perry and Taylor Swift would have a beef, and then they would both follow that up with their version of Lady Gaga's Art Pop 5 months apart. It's just insane. That's what we got.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think when we look back at the end of year lists, this is not going to be in anyone's top 10.
Well, you say that, but the poptimism around this album is disgusting. I mean, just go to Metacritic. It's an aggregator, obviously,
74 on Metacritic.
But you go to Metacritic, you see all these huge publications giving it 75s, giving it 80s. You know, the only one site that really truly savaged it with like a 30-something was a site that we totally discount all the time, Consequence of Sound, which I was like, all right, you guys actually had some balls for once. Good for you.
Yeah, Pitchfork gave it a 6.5, and they didn't really have much positive to say about it. I was like, how can you give this a 6.5? But
it's like the way video games are graded, like a 6 is like pretty bad. That's disappointing. But like it's a 10-point scale, but nothing ever gets 1 through 5. It's just, even though they all have their own meaning. So yeah, I mean, a 6.5 is pretty poor, I'd say, for her. And yeah, this is definitely her worst received album thus far. And that's pretty obvious. And again, it's going to be the least resonant, just because I don't see how you can expect the 4 singles all flopped. You think some other album cut's going to do well. I mean, I don't see how anything has any staying power, especially with someone like Eminem following it up right now. But did you hear about her cease and desist letter that she sent to that blog leading up to this?
Neo-Nazi blog.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like with Disney and the LA Times, classic Streisand effect. You bring more attention to something that no one really knows about by making a big deal about it. But the fact that she couldn't just denounce the alt-right connection, obviously, that she would rather just have her lawyers do it behind the scenes, tells you all you need to know. Like, not that Taylor Swift needs to be rah-rah, on the campaign trail with Hillary Clinton like Katy Perry. No one, that's not what you need to do. But the fact that you make a conscious effort to be so apolitical because you don't want to alienate any of the millions of fans that pay you money, like, it's just annoying. And then on top of that, you also didn't have it available on streaming, just like Adele and Beyonce. But it's just adding up. It's compounding with Taylor Swift, and I'm looking forward to seeing the album not resonate, just because I want to see this push Taylor Swift, like you said, take some time and actually grow.
It's that old saying, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, pretty much. And this album is like the perfect embodiment of that, because she's just trying to be so much when if she's just her, she'll be phenomenal. It's really disappointing. And for, not only Sam Smith, but Taylor Swift both have albums that bomb. And now I am not optimistic for this Eminem album either coming out. It's a really sad end to the year for the most part. There haven't been a lot of big names hitting it this year.